Hello everyone, welcome to Cradix Tech. I'm your host Shubham, and today we are reviewing the OnePlus 13, which I have been using for the past 4 months. This phone, despite being a flagship, undercuts most of them. But coming in at 1400 Australian dollars, does it really compete with the big names out there? Spoiler alert, OnePlus has made an amazing phone this time. In this detailed review, we will cover the display, battery, performance, cameras, software, and durability. If you want to jump to a specific section, use the time codes below. Without any further delay, let's get the detailed review started, shall we? Sorry for the background noise, guys. It is a bit windy out there, and there are a few of the birds chipping around as well. So, I have here the base model, which comes in black. This is my favorite, after the blue leather, of course. And honestly, I hate the white one. It's just too plain for my liking. This phone reminds me of my old S10 Plus, and it feels refreshing since most of the phones have been switched to the flatter displays. But personally, I love some curves. In my phone, of course. Don't get any ideas. The curves make the display feel immersive. However, the bezels are noticeably thicker compared to the S25 Ultra and even the iPhone 16 Pro. The design isn't too large overall, and the off-centered camera bump looks classy, though I would have preferred it in the middle. Thankfully, it doesn't wobble much. Back is glass, and the front uses ceramic shield glass, which sounds like something for a medieval RPG. What's next? Diamond Glass Plus 3 and anti-glare enhancements? I don't know. This protection is probably a step below what you'd find on the S25 Ultra or even the iPhone 16 Pro. It also includes the classic alert slider, giving strong OnePlus 3T vibes, plus IP69 water and dust resistance, compared to the IP68 on most of the other phones, and the Aqua Touch feature, which comes in handy a lot, which lets you use your phone with wet hands. Super clutch if you're around the water a lot. And yes, it even has an IR blaster. I've connected this to 4 of my devices in my home and now rule the living room like a tech wizard. Overall, the phone feels dense, sturdy, and well balanced in the hand. The clicky buttons and the weight distribution make one hand use possible. And I do prefer this design over my S25 Ultra. Coming to the display on this phone, and it's a 6.82 inches LTPO 4.1 OLED QHD plus 120Hz curved display. Wow, that's a mouthful. It reaches 4500 nits of outdoor brightness and 1600 nits of HDR. One of the best aspects of this phone, this is the display. And it gets so bright that I nearly got tanned just testing it outside. It also rated A++ on DisplayMate. Pro tip: go to the settings, change the resolution to 1440p and switch the display mode to high refresh rate instead of the dynamic, and thank me later. Watching anything on this display is just amazing. It's super immersive whether you are watching Netflix or gaming. Comparing this with the S25 Outdoors, it still holds up pretty well and may even look brighter at times, unless you are doing a side-by-side comparison. HDR, it's supported on Netflix, and gaming looks great on it too. The display uses 2160Hz PWM dimming, helpful for people with migraines or even eye strain for flickering screens. One thing I'm noting here, while comparing the battery test between the S25 Ultra and this phone, the OnePlus 13 stays brighter for longer. But the speakers are a weaker point for this one. They are not tinny, but I will let you be the judge. And while we are here, let's also compare the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra and the 16 Pro Max, all the speaker comparison between all three of those.
सी तरह रोके ना रुके थी ऐसी अदा फिर मैंने भी दिल में दे दी जगह होगा क्या आगे ये किसको पता बातों ही पास लगा था जैसे कुछ हुआ हो खास स्मूथ ही सांसें मन किया पास सुनता रहे और हाथों में हाथ आंखों में उसके खोल से गए हिप्नोटाइज हम होते गए बातों में हुए फिदा जाने जाने हमारे पास लगा था जैसे कुछ हुआ हो खास स्मूथ ही सांसें मन किया पास सुनता रहे और हाथों में हाथ आंखों में उसके खोल से गए हिप्नोटाइज हम होते गए बातों में हुए फिदा जाने जाने हमारे पास लगा था जैसे कुछ हुआ हो खास स्मूथ ही सांसें मन किया पास सुनता रहे और हाथों में हाथ आंखों में उसके खोल से गए हिप्नोटाइज हम होते गए
I would say the S25 Ultra has the better speakers out of all of these, but OnePlus 13 is just second. It also features an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, which is fast and reliable, even when the screen is off. Just note, you can't use any cheap tempered glass or screen protector on it. You will have to get a hydrogen film or a thin type screen protector. Now that we have rolled over the display, it's time to talk about performance. This phone runs on the Snapdragon 8 Elite, basically the CPU equivalent of the Gym Bro on the creatine. And this base model has a 12GB of LPDDR5X RAM and 256GB of fast UFS 4.0 storage. Benchmark time. On Geekbench, the score outperforms the S25 Ultra, though both are lower than the previous OS versions found on both. Still, it's impressive that this cheaper phone performs nearly the same or even better at times compared to the S25 Ultra. Comparing with the iPhone 16 Pro Max though, the iPhone leads the single core, but OnePlus wins in multi-core. On Antutu, OnePlus scores higher than both the Samsung as well as Apple. CPU scores from the Benchmark 3D are way better than the S25 Ultra, and even the iPhone 16 Pro. Now, the 8 Elite chip does eat a lot of battery at full loads. It's currently running on ColorOS, which feels smoother than OxygenOS. Yes, I said it. In fact, the ColorOS is so smooth, it should come with a warning. May cause unrealistic expectations for some other phones. Animations and gestures are buttery smooth, and app opening speed beats the competition easy. That said, I'm now switching back to the OxygenOS and I'm happy with it. Google apps are running flawless on this one, and even Gemini works with the power button. Circle to search is finally available. But to be honest, ColorOS was still smoother, and I do prefer the ColorOS animations over the OxygenOS. Now, gaming is where this phone actually shines, handling everything from Grid Legends to the basic games like Clash of Clans and even Genshin Impact. I consistently got 60 to 120 FPS, depending on the game though. The Asphalt Unite gets me 120 FPS all the time. Though Genshin Impact doesn't support 60 FPS yet, we should be getting an update soon, or maybe in a future that it should support 120 FPS on all the 8 Elite phones out there. Coming to the call quality on this phone is excellent, and no drop calls, clear audio on both the ways, which is amazing considering we don't use the dialer at all these days. Coming to the battery on this one, the phone packs a 6000 mAh silicon carbon battery with 100 watts of wired and 50 watts of wireless charging. This is a silicon carbon battery, so you can see it is higher than the S25 Ultra and even the iPhone 16 Pro Max. On paper, it's a beast, but in practice, I have found the battery life slightly underwhelming. Despite the larger battery, screen on time is between 7.5 to 8.5 hours. Not bad, but I would have expected more. And you can see that in the battery test that I have done with the S25 Ultra. Still, it charges from 0 to 100% in under an hour, which is super helpful when you are in a rush. Check the top left of my battery comparison with the S25 Ultra if you want to see them. To sum things up, this is an excellent battery life, which will get you to 1.5 to 2 days of worth with maximum usage, and hands down a 2-day phone with light to moderate use. So I am on OxygenOS 15, which is stable and glitch-free. OnePlus promises 4 years of software update and 6 years of security patches. Not as long as Samsung or Apple or even Pixel, but honestly, who uses a phone for more than 6 years, right? The UI is fast, fluid, and snappy. Even the RAM management is ruthless. App runs smoothly with zero lags, and OnePlus continues to optimize its software well with zero bloatware. This even provides a lot of customizations with home screen layout, its size, quick setting display for Android 15, fingerprint animations, edge lighting, app renaming, icon styles, transitions, and folder size, all of which might require a third party app for other Androids, just like the good lock on Samsung. This also has the smart slider with your favorite and recent apps. One hand mode and app combinations are also there. Also, have live activities just like the dynamic island on an iPhone, and more AI editing tools in the photo app. If you want a detailed review comparing all the AI features for the OnePlus, let me know in the comments below and I will make that happen. The only downgrade, I would say, not much AI magic here. Everyone else is going wild with AI, and OnePlus is like, we have smoothness and an IR blaster. That's pretty cool. Finally, coming to the cameras on this phone, this one has a triple 50 megapixel setup, wide, ultra wide, and the 3x telephoto. The sensors on this phone are just great on paper with Hasselblad color calibration. And you can pause the video to check the specs of the sensor, and it also has the iconic Hasselblad sound. But let's check the results coming out of the sensor. The photos during daylight are good. It does maintain the color profile of the Hasselblad, which is sharp image along with color contrast. You can see the colors are maintained well all across the lenses, and the ultra wide doesn't distort across the edges, which is great. I love the default color profile on this phone, and the primary camera, due to a higher megapixel, does capture some natural bokeh, and photos does seem natural. But sometimes the ultra wide adds up a little more contrast on the photos, which makes the photos darker comparing with the main lens. The telephoto, on the other hand, has a consistent color and looks brighter, which is welcome. This is a 3x lens, but it has an AI boost which goes up to 6x, which does the sensor crop for better artistic shots. Photos taken on this telephoto 3x, that is 73mm lens, actually sometimes looks better than the main lens on the 23mm. Also, I do prefer the telephoto lens over the S25 Ultra's 3x, or even 5x sometimes. But zooming in too much and your photos will look like an owl painting. And you will see here that there is no actual detail of the bird in the shot. And it also seems unusable too. Tricky lighting conditions also shows that it fills in some of the details after the shot is taken using AI. It depends if you like the AI or the natural look. Me, I like somewhere in the middle, with minimal AI use and lean more towards the camera optics being better. But not all shots are bad. And you can see the telephoto shot does preserve all the details in the bricks, and the AI does help here to improve it. The bokeh balls on this phone with the portrait mode are pretty great, and I love how it handles most of the close-up shots in the primary lens as well. Coming to the night shots, and I'm blown away by how it handles the colors and the shadows in the night mode. Comparing with the S25 Ultra, daylight shots on the OnePlus and the Samsung almost looks similar, which is just different from each other in white balance. Samsung goes with a warmer approach while OnePlus takes cooler. But you can say usually the foreground is blurrier on Samsung, which might be because of the higher megapixel count. Some shots OnePlus just takes great dynamic range compared to Samsung, and you can see the shadows are crushed. But comparing a different shot, the photos are almost identical, and there is little to minimal difference between both of them. Coming to the portraits, OnePlus uses a 3x compared to the 5x on the Samsung, but you can judge the portraits by yourself. For me, I would prefer the 5x on the Samsung, as this is 50mm equivalent of the lens while taking the shots, but at night, OnePlus is usually brighter. Samsung makes it warmer. Zooming into the shot, the details are maintained on both, but due to the brighter image, OnePlus comes out on the top, especially in the night mode. Checking the telephoto at the night, and both are especially impressive, with Samsung's 5x and OnePlus's 6x crop. You can see in some shots, Samsung completely misses, and you can see the zoom comparison with the 5x and 3x here. Photos comparing with the iPhone 16 Pro are almost similar as well. And I have noticed that the OnePlus usually takes a brighter photo in the morning, where I do prefer it. And it's really hard to find any meaningful difference here. You can see what I am explaining, that OnePlus actually takes brighter photos even in the harsh lighting conditions, as you can clearly make out the rocks at the bottom of this photo. At night, the photos are better on OnePlus and almost identical, except there is more warmth and saturation in OnePlus. Here, even though the iPhone photo is darker, it does keep the details in the shadows. The low light zoom, OnePlus crushes the iPhone. Just look at this shot. But it's totally up to you if you prefer a darker or a brighter photo. In the main and the ultra wide lens, the shots are closer than you think. But due to the higher shutter speed, the night shots are consistently brighter on OnePlus. You can see it maintains the reflections well, and also extremely low light, it preserves the details. The shots at night have a bit artistic flair to it. The colors just pop out at times, and it takes all different looking shots and still keeps the details intact. That sums up the camera experience on this one. Coming to the video side of things, this can do 4K 60 on all of its lenses and 8K 30 on the main lens as well. I have noticed there is no sensor crop while recording the 8K footage. The video coming out of this one is very detailed. I have noticed when switching the lenses, it does preserve the same colors and the quality, but I would say the main lens is always better comparing to the telephoto and ultra wide. And while switching the lenses, you can definitely feel the switch. I can definitely say the videos coming out of this phone are on par with iPhone, with little to no distortion. Let's see a comparison shot outside so that you can compare them and see which ones you feel should be good. So I'm outside right now and with some background noise. Let's check how the 4K 60 video performs on this one. And would you like this over the iPhone or the Samsung? Now switching to the S25 Ultra with the same 4K 60p video as well as the background noise on and the mics on this one. Would you prefer this over the OnePlus 13 or the iPhone? Finally, checking out the video on the iPhone 16, and this is 4K 60p with mics on with some background noise as well. Let me know how you like this one. And would you prefer this over the OnePlus 13? Let me know which video you liked better in the comments below. Some of the drawbacks that I have noticed in this camera are the focusing issues. The camera struggles with subjects that are close to it and repeatedly switching from macro to the main lens. It cannot click close up with the telephoto lens, instead switching to the ultra wide if the main lens is too close. The OnePlus 12's periscope lens reportedly had no such problems. Selfie camera, while good in ideal lighting, selfies can mess up when there is too much to process. Comparing the 32 megapixel resolution and autofocus is a bit desired. Image brightness is a bit gimmicky as well. Sometimes the phone tends to click much brighter photos than what might look, meaning it appears overprocessed. This can be fixed by reducing the default exposure to -0.3, but then again that adds extra step while taking the photo. Some users have reported that the camera may lose focus and not regain it during the video recording, but that wasn't the case with me. Finally, coming to the conclusion on the OnePlus 13, and it's an easy recommendation and truly a solid phone. It refines the expectation by offering a flagship experience that rivals and sometimes even outshines a phone that costs much more. The consideration to buy this phone comes down to the great display, solid battery life, outstanding performance with the 8 Elite chip, reliable cameras, and the polished software. Sure, it's not perfect and does come with some of the quirks, and it's less AI. But the value for money here is just unbeatable. If you are looking for something powerful, long-lasting, and an Android flagship without burning a hole in your wallet, the OnePlus 13 is an excellent choice. It's a legit alternate to the S25 Ultra, even the Pixel 9 Pro and the 16 Pro, especially if you value raw performance and battery life. Got a OnePlus 13? Let me know in the comments below. How's it going for you? That's been it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this to anyone buying it. Catch you in the next one. Peace.